Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to simplify and secure bill pay. That's proven financial infrastructure built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.
Hello, and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with our Sister Wives coverage, season 19, episode 20, For Everything There Is a Season. And this is actually their mid-season break. So I guess this is the last episode till spring, but they're not giving a date. Have you seen a date?
No, they're just spring, which is very...
They're teasing us.
Vague and ambiguous.
Much like, being married to Kody.
Yes. You never know.
You never know what's going to happen.
Anything's going to happen or if it's going to happen.
So, yeah. And then if you ask about it, then TLC would be like, get off my back, lady.
Yeah,
you can produce the show yourself,
We'll come back when we're ready. I don't want to do you any favors. Don't ask me for any favors.
Yeah. Something like that. So, this was, I thought, high level. I liked this episode. This was very much, I think, Janelle's episode in many ways, right? It's about Janelle taking this...
starting over.
Yeah, this journey across country and starting this new life and leaving things behind. And we'll talk about that and all of it. So...
Yeah, I know. I always enjoy these episodes where we get even a tidbit. This one had a lot. I love when the wives just start talking about how awful it was being married to Kody.
Yeah, I mean, the show that we need is Janelle and Christine, and at what point they can pick up Meri,
right?
Driving back and forth across the country, just talking about Kody.
Yeah.
And how much they cannot stand him.
I would watch that for hours.
Of course. Yeah. Who wouldn't? So, so we start this episode. It's Flagstaff when we see Janelle. She's moving to North Carolina. And then my first note was, David's there. See how David shows up.
Of course he's there. He's driving the truck.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes. But unlike Meri, Janelle took a different stance when she decided to leave Kody and move. She just... pieced out. She ghosted him.
Yeah.
She ghosted him. She ghosted their marriage. I mean, hardcore.
Yeah.
She really did.
Yeah, she saw no reason to tell him, even though, her children were still going to be living there in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
She's like, he'll find out somehow. Someone will tell him.
Yeah, that's the sound of me not calling you back. You'll find that one out there. I love that Lizzo song, Truth Hurts. Okay, so yes, as we all know, if you're a fan of the show, that she and Caleb and Maddie bought 150 acres in North Carolina. They're going to build homes. They're going to create flower farms. Yeah, so we...
doing big things. Woo.
Lots of things. And then we go right from this woman-powered moment to dun, 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 dark, sad music. The Coyote Pass, giant truck. It's Kody. Dun, 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 dun. Kody is
mad.
Yes. He's not happy. But I love the Kody drives. Like, I'm just going to get in the car and just vent. Like, I've already vented enough to Robin, so I have to get in my car now and vent to the camera.
Yeah.
You know, I just found out by mistake. So we find out that Kody obviously didn't know she was leaving, and he found out through one of the kids. And that's the other thing. I want to say, like, this thing with Janelle where they said, oh my God, please, you didn't find out from me. Now, we don't know if the kid really said that or not. I mean, we have to take this from Kody's perspective, but there is a little bit of like, okay, well, hold on a second. There's like getting someone out of your life and then putting your kids in this funky spot of they accidentally say something about their mom. And then it's like, oh no, you didn't hear that from me.
Well, it doesn't seem to me like Janelle told anybody, oh, don't tell Kody. She seems to not give a F. So
do you think
what's the problem with someone telling?
Yeah. So, but my question is, but that's how Kody described it.
Well,
so do you think Kody created that to make it seem okay? So in Cody's mind, that's what he heard.
Cody's trying to be dramatic. He's just trying to be dramatic and garner sympathy. Again, Janelle doesn't care. So it's not like she's going to say to her kids, oh, don't tell him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't believe that for a minute. That's just Kody being Kody.
Yes. Well, and this is driving him crazy because the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Mm-hmm. And so when someone hates you, they care about you. There's feelings there. There's something there. Mm-hmm. Indifference means they don't care what you know or don't know. They don't care if they see you or don't see you. They don't wish you ill will. But yeah. And that's never a great place to be in with someone that you care about. That's rough. Yeah,
that's Janelle in a nutshell. Indifferent.
Yeah, but Kody was like, God, I thought we could work it out. Thought we could work it out.
Yeah. Still hanging on. Hanging on.
Yes.
The thread.
All right.
Well, then we are treated to a performance extraordinaire.
Yes. This was called, I don't know what to even call this.
It's a skit.
Yes.
It's literally a skit.
Aurora, Robin, and Kody wrote a skit.
Yes.
They're performing it for us.
They wrote it themselves. They've been practicing and now we're ready. It's like action. And enter Robin, left, stage left.
Yeah.
Kody is doing the dishes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Trying to turn Robin on.
Oh yeah, very much so. So,
Did you think she was turned on? Did she look turned on?
Oh God, she's just like, oh dear God, just say your lines and hit your marks, Kody. So we can move on with our lives.
I know. Well, this was a rare, this is how you know they were acting. They were all smiling. Mm-hmm. Okay. We never see Robin smile.
Yes.
We never see Aurora smile until this episode. She's looking, every time you see her, she looks like she's on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
Now she's all happy and giddy, and Kody's happy too. And we know Kody has not been happy. We know this is all an act.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, as I said to you before we started recording the other day, as I was saying to you, I felt like this had a real porn energy. I'm sorry. It just did. Aurora walks, and I want to hear this from other people too. Aurora walks in and she goes, oh, hi. Oh, good. You're both here. Like, oh, the pizza boy is here. Oh, the plumber's here or someone's here. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Aurora. Oh, hi. Can I talk to you about something? Okay, yeah. Let's stop what we're doing.
Let's stop washing the dishes and pay full attention to you.
And pay full attention to Aurora. And, Kody, he leans right in and he wants to hear what she has to say, which really must. Oof.
Well, and they both say, Robin and Kody both say kind of at the same time, what's going on with you? That was their next line.
Yeah. They're like, should we say this together? Or no. Yeah. You start saying it, then I'll start saying it.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
All right. And then I'm going to lean in. That's like a female thing, right? Leaning in. So here I'm going. Yeah. So, and then this was the second thing that I thought, which I realize now I think was because, I realize now this was because of the closed captions. But it was this whole thing about Aurora she's asking Kody and Robin She's a 35-year-old woman. She is, how old is she now? She's asking their permission to get baptized in this church. And, she's very nervous. That's what's in the little parentheses next to the lines. You nervously ask. She's nervously asking them if she can be baptized. And, and then it becomes this whole thing about like finding her relationship with God and, all of this. And
well, Kody and Robin, they're concerned. They have to feign concern, being concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Robin thinks, well, gosh, this is really quick.
Yeah.
So fast. And Kody's worried about, well, does this mean that you're committing to this church? And she's like, no, I'm committing to Christ. And, he's like, oh, okay, good. I mean, they're delivering their lines.
Mm-hmm. So was it that because the AUB is their church and they just don't want her repeating that?
Well, so like Robin said, she was baptized into the AUB church.
Yeah.
So that's the thing when, I don't know a lot about churches, but like that church, the AUB, you were baptized into that church. That meant that you were specifically a member of that church. A lot of people get baptized in all kinds of like interdenominational, like non-denominational. It's just a symbolic thing that, you are accepting Jesus Christ. And it's just that it's just the act of doing it. You're not committing yourself necessarily to a church.
Mm-hmm.
It's my understanding. Again,
yeah. Well, did you ever have situations where I remember I was at these people's house? This was when I was in college, a friend of mine, and, her family, they weren't that religious, but they were raised Catholic. So everyone had been baptized Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought like, I don't think they thought I was going to go to hell because I wasn't baptized, but there was this real feeling of like, oh, your parents really dropped the ball. Almost kind of like, I think for some people it becomes like, I don't know if I really believe in this, but safe than sorry, like let's just do it, or do it as part of our community, as this is what my family wants or whatever it is. But you've never had anyone kind of like give you the side eye going, you're not baptized?
No.
Oh.
Never. And from my understanding, like in the Catholic Church, the reason for the baptism is so you can go to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they do it when they're babies, because if the baby dies, if it's not baptized, it's going to go to hell. But other religions believe in baptizing as an adult because you choose, baby doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But, you want to be able to choose that's your choice.
Okay.
I believe.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So they're concerned but basically, and then of course, Kody has to make it about himself.
Mm-hmm.
He has to start tearing up and bawling and getting sad and then having to talk about his own relationship with God and, being lifted beneath the wind beneath my wings sometimes. And then other times he's looking at God.
It's like, where are you, God?
Where are you, God? I don't want to deal with Coyote Pass. Why me? Why am I here? This is what I love. Why am I here alone? It's like, you've got a wife.
Yeah. And
you still have those 18 kids. You still have the 18.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like all alone.
You can, I know.
He's a piece of work.
Yeah.
Now, this was the second comment. This was the other thing that made me think it was porn. When Aurora asked Kody, would you baptize me with my master? Now, I swear to God, I heard master. Master is what I saw on the closed captions. But Brooke was kind enough to tell me, no. It was pastor.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't use closed captioning. I can't stand them. And I feel like I picked up on all this better than you. And clearly they make mistakes. Okay.
Yes. So, God, they make lots of mistakes. Yeah. They don't spell Kody right. They don't spell anybody's names right.
Yeah. Well, and you just took that and ran with it. And you thought that you're like, oh my God, what is this? She's getting into a sex cult? Or what's going on here?
Well, yeah, I'm just as bad as everybody, right? I took false false news,
fake news.
Fake news. Thank you. I was like, I couldn't think of the word. Fake news. And look at me perpetuating this, like just spreading this around. If you had not stopped me, I would have.
You would have been on the internet talking about, Aurora and her master.
Yeah.
Who is this person?
Pastor.
Yes, pastor. Okay. And of course, Kody is he's peed his pants. He's so excited. That now he gets to be the center of attention at this baptism. And oh God, can't wait to see that. I guess that we'll see it in the spring.
We will. We will see it in the spring. Yep. All right. So then
very weird scene.
It is. The scene's so weird. And then then usually they show you scenes of what's coming up, which drives me crazy. TLC does this. It drives me nuts why they do that. It's like, we're about to see it.
Yeah.
Like, even if you were watching the commercial, it's 2 or 3 minutes later. Like, I'm going to see it. It's okay.
Yeah, I can wait.
What do you think? I'm going to tune away from the show?
I'm going to turn it off? No.
God, season 19. They're losers watching the show. But there's no upcoming scenes. It's like very quiet. So that made me think, we're going to go right back into this Aurora Kody Robin scene. No, we're Parowan now. And we're meeting someone we've never met before.
Yeah.
So we're really, really, really digging for content with these people. I mean...
Yeah, there's this woman, Madeline, who we didn't know existed. I didn't know that Meri's B&B was actually a B&B. I've never seen any guests there. We've never seen any scenes of people staying there. And no, they have a full-time cook.
Yeah, that's retiring.
People are there, I guess.
Yeah. But, I mean...
Madeline doesn't look too enthused to be there. I don't know what they had to bribe her with to get her to come, and her family. I think her husband and her daughter was there. I mean, they barely got them to film for like 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah. How long did Madeline stay? No, I think I saw her eating food at one point. Okay. How long do you think she was there? She was so uninterested. Being at this party.
Yeah, they made her put on a crown, that I don't know what it said. I didn't get a good look at it or if it said anything, but they put...
No, it said retirement.
Oh, okay.
Or it said, I'm sorry, it said retired.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jen and Meri are really trying to make this just a heck of a fun time, but Madeline's not having it.
No, Madeline's got shit to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I really thought I'd never have to come back to this place.
When I retired.
Oh, boy.
And then is this where they start to talk a little bit about the B&B and like, should Meri shut down the B&B or should she keep the B&B?
Yeah, she says, perhaps Madeline's retirement is like a sign from the universe to shut down the B&B.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's the storyline that Meri is going with.
Yeah.
And then later in the episode, she dives a little deeper into that. But this little snippet, that's pretty much what had happened.
Yeah. We just get to see Madeline really, I don't know, annoyed, uncomfortable. I don't know what she was feeling, but she was just, she had no time.
No.
So we're back on the road with Janelle.
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. And so they're telling us about this place out in the middle of, and you looked it up. It's in Arizona.
It's in Arizona on Route 66.
Called the Plot's Plot. And the idea of it is, and you have to drive into, right? It's not on the highway. You get off the highway and you have to get on this bumpy road. And it's just this, what are those things? Those storage.
It's like a storage container, it looks like, those container, like a shipping container.
Yeah. And so what you do is, the idea of it is that you leave behind and you write a note of why you're leaving this thing behind as you're going through a transition. So what do you want to leave behind? And I would assume that, the Highway 66 is sort of a famous highway, it's a famous highway. And so, so the idea of it is that it's like about transitions and honoring those transitions and all of that. So Janelle and Christine have both decided that they want to stop there and believe something.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I wonder
I love
how
it.
Janelle found out about it.
She said she found out on social media.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
I was very confused about because it's a locked container. So how do you get the code?
I think you probably have to, contact someone online.
At the plots. And then
probably
tell
put down
them when
a
you're going to
deposit
go
or something. So to make it some barrier to entry,
Got it.
and they give you a code and,
Okay.
They probably charge a little something for it because someone's got to maintain it,
Yeah, because then I was like, well, what happens if it's chock full of stuff?
They probably have to clear it out every so often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, we learn that, this is where she gets into the whole thing, right? So Janelle is going to leave her the necklace that Kody designed her, that tree necklace.
The tree, my sister wife's closet. And that really is an ugly necklace.
Yeah.
I've never really seen it up close. But at one point when my sister wife's closet, well, as Janelle described it, she said, when Robin had her business, Kody designed, a necklace for each of his wives. And also Janelle seemed to like it at the time. But remember how Christine was very disappointed?
Okay,
she hated her necklace.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I'm like, which one was disappointed? And it was Christine. Okay, because I thought it was Meri for a moment, but
no, I think Meri liked hers, or at least she acted like she did. And Christine's she didn't like it because it was kind of like a little fairy, and it was kind of minimalist. It wasn't as intricate as the other ones, and she hated it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually, I just skipped a whole section. We first start to learn that Christine she has a dream catcher because she said my dreams have shifted. But she says that she still has nightmares about being married to Kody and wakes up like in a cold sweat. Like, oh God, oh, where's David? Oh God, oh, phew, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, phew,
yeah, and she said that she still has a lot of trauma over Flagstaff. And this is when Truly, who's standing next to her, kind of leans in and pats her on the back.
Yeah.
When she says that, which I thought was super sweet.
Because Truly doesn't like touch. But so far, we've seen her touch Christine and David,
Yeah, well, because that's who she feels safe with, her body, her choice.
Yes, exactly.
She gets to choose who to touch and who touches her. But yeah, Truly, she's on the trip too. She's along for the ride.
Yeah, she's riding with David. And I wonder if producers are like, well, Christine and Janelle have to ride together kind of thing.
Yeah, because they have to gossip.
Yeah, they have to gossip. And we learned some good stuff here. We learned that Christine wakes up and screaming, thinking she's still married to Kody. Janelle doesn't dream about him at all. Again, indifferent at all. And then this is where Christine gets into this whole thing. This was the best about how, well, you really kind of ended it nicely. And Janelle's like, it just slowly died. Christine's like, well, what about that birthday dinner? And Janelle's like, I had no plans. He just called me up. And I thought, all right, fine. This will be a good time.
She had nothing better to do.
Yeah.
She even said this was, they had to put closed captioning on this because she said it was hard to hear. She said that she was just using him. And she said, I was married a long time. He owed me that.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, what exactly did you get that night? Was it just a dinner at Mariposa, or was it like one last bang? I don't know.
Well, no, because I think Christine said, I think he had a different thing in mind. And so I don't think she gave up any of that. I think she felt like, you can pick me up, you can drive me and take me to and pay for a nice dinner out of our quote unquote shared funds or whatever, funds now.
Who paid for that? Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think they banged. I think she just doesn't want to say it on TV.
Okay.
She's really embarrassed about she's pretty private.
Yeah. Huh.
So
I don't know. I feel like if something did happen between them, I think Kody would have told us. I really do. Because this would then prove, because right now, again, what we learned in that scripted scene earlier, as Kody admits, as we know from this entire series, Kody loves attention and likes attention. And what's happening right now, especially with Janelle, this is such a blow. I mean, I can't imagine this is such a blow to his ego. And he desperately wants her attention. So I feel like if he was like, she wanted my body that night, I just feel like he would not be able to contain it if they did.
Yeah.
If something happened. That's my feeling.
They cut to him and he claims that, there was none of that she was just in the friend zone at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe it. You don't pick. Yeah, he was giddy when he picked her up.
Yes, he wanted to. He's rewriting history.
And he spent money on her, which, he doesn't like to spend money on other people. That was not a friend zone. I think he wanted more.
Yeah.
Expected more.
I think he wanted more. I think he thought that this was his opening for more. And I think she thought, yeah, that's probably what he thinks, but I'm not going to do it.
I'm just going for the dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think she pieced out. There's no way. Again, I still maintain he could not keep that. But then this is where Christine starts talking about everyone wants to know about what was our final straw? What was the last thing? And we didn't hear Christine's, but I guess Janelle indicated it was the fight. It was the infamous last season episode 4, fuck you fight.
I don't remember her saying that.
That's what I picked up. Like she said what I interpreted what she was saying was like the relationship had been slowly dying. And it all just kind of came to a head when they had that fight. And it was a little bit like, forget you, fine. And I think it sounds like Janelle, maybe for Janelle, it sounds like for Janelle, that was it.
Because I thought she also said that it was when the way that he treated her kids during COVID.
Yeah, but she didn't say that in the episode. That's what I'm saying. Like in this case, that's up. But I believe, that was part of it because that's what the fight was about. Mm-hmm. That's what it was about. And I think that she was like, it was slowly dying. And now we're fighting over the kids and you want me to pick them, want me to pick you over them and forget it. And I think that's what I think she just kind of felt like that's it. Like that was the end, like I'm not going to I think she felt like I'm not going to keep fighting for the relationship or fighting for something that is dead now.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Something to fight for.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
yeah.
Interesting. Well, and then inside the container, the plots. There's ironically a paper mache head, 2 paper mache heads, and one looks just like Kody.
Mm-hmm. I guess I didn't pick up on that. I saw the paper mache heads. But
one looked just like Kody. It was weird. And then, because it even had it was like this facial hair and
it had curly hair.
It had yellow, and then yellow curl.
It leaned forward. Hair. You could see bald spots.
Yes. Go back and look.
Okay, I have to go back and look.
Swear to God. It's really weird.
Yeah. So Christine's leaving the dream catcher. Janelle is leaving the necklace. And I just think it's just also very much about who Christine is and who Janelle is. Like Christine's like, I'm leaving this dream catcher behind and, my dreams have shifted and this is what's happened to me. And then Janelle's note was like, this is a necklace that was designed for me. I don't want it, I don't want it anymore. And I'm moving on.
Yeah, it said it was designed for me by my partner. It didn't even say husband or nothing. My partner. The guy that I was forced to live with sometimes. Yeah, Janelle is just the most unsentimental person.
Yeah, but it is very symbolic since they are right that they're doing this flower farm, leaving this tree behind, like going to build, plant her own seeds. So, yeah, and we hear from Meri. Poor Meri always has to. Everyone's having a lot of fun. And we're like, we should probably ask Meri about.
Yeah,
Meri, what are you purging things? So yeah, she's been purging. She feels so much lighter. And she has a lot of crap because she had those flowers from the commitment ceremony.
Oh yeah. She's a pack rat.
Yeah. So, but she's feeling lighter and lighter and lighter. Yeah. And then we're back. Oh, and then we go back to Flagstaff. And this is then when Kody finally says, tearfully, yes, I will, I will baptize you with your pastor. And then they have a group hug.
Oh, and then Robin, I wrote down here, I don't know who Robin said that. I think she said this to the camera, but I'm not quite sure what she was referring to. She said, It makes us feel good, not like outsiders.
Huh?
Oh, because it made them feel good that Aurora asked him to be part of this. Oh, because like their kids are including that. Her kids are including in their lives, unlike
the other
kids. But these kids don't have a choice because they're being held captive in your house.
Yes.
They need permission to go to the church to get baptized. So.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Aurora came back and she's all wet and they're like, what happened to you, Aurora?
Where have you been?
Where have you been in that white dress? What's going on?
Yeah, she'd be in big trouble.
Yes. So, I don't know. This whole thing about asking permission and doing this and doing that, like, so is Kody's expectation is all his children, no matter what the age, will always ask his permission to do everything.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely has a lot of judgment about what they should be doing, and I'm sure he tells them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they, get sick of hearing about it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if we talked about this, but McKelty's come out since Kody revealed that he lost his virginity in college.
Mm-hmm.
That apparently all her growing up, he was really, really like, you can't live with this person, like very strict, very
he wouldn't
pious.
Let them kiss. Remember the hormones,
the hormones.
Kiss. Yeah.
But he was speaking from experience, Brooke. His hormones got the best of him in that moment. But she, I guess apparently she said some things like she's really mad. She's mad because because I think it was, again, I think it was, so many of these things are, it's all rooted in shame, like shaming them, shaming Mykelti for potentially, I don't know, having sex before marriage, shaming Mykelti for living with someone, like shaming. And then here you go and you tell this story kind of flippantly, like it's not like this big, deep, it's sort of like, well, let me tell you a story about my life, that you've held on to for 15 plus years, never told anyone before.
They shamed that girl from the time she started puberty.
Yeah.
They shamed her about her dress, how she dressed, everything. Like
her choice of a partner.
Yeah. I mean, she was, and she had, boyfriends before. I don't remember any of the other girls really having, or at least we didn't see them having boyfriends. So yeah, she should be mad.
Yeah. Anywho. So yeah, and then we're back in the truck to one of the best shows on television, Christine and Janelle talking shit.
Yeah.
So they start talking about old trips.
Yeah, they talk about how when they would go on family trips and they'd be staying in hotels, like Kody would never say where he was going to stay. And it turns out he did that at home too. Despite, remember when the show began and, they were all like, well, we take turns and we have this schedule and it's my night and da-da-da. Turns out at least maybe before Robin, they might have done that. But as soon as Robin came into the picture, they never knew what he wouldn't commit. He would just show up and nobody ever knew if he was going to come over until he came over at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, and that's unfortunately what happened. Was what we learned from Janelle is that she was upset. Like she's almost like, don't pick me, please don't pick me. Because every time he would come and spend the night with her, and it sounds like that's how it was at the house as well, it disrupted her life. It was a disruption. And this is when it really hit me. I was like, oh, I think, this is Janelle. The personality of Janelle works really well for polygamy and this kind of arrangement. And that for her, that, I don't see Janelle ever getting married again to one person. If she does ever meet someone, it's going to be someone in another state, in another town. Like, I don't think she wants a full-time partner.
No.
She doesn't want a full-time anything. And this is why all this works so well for her. But Christine talks about how, oh my God, I was so much needier than you. And I think that, because Kody wants and needs all of this attention, when you have someone like Janelle, who's like kind of putting a hand up saying, no, that person becomes more fascinating and more interesting.
Mhm.
Like, they don't want me. Well, now I really want them.
Mhm.
Versus poor Christine, I think the more she became needy, like the more he pulled away and the more she went in and the more he pulled
Mhm.
away. And it's interesting to see these dynamics. And then Meri being seen as just this mean person when in actuality, she was just kind of like, I like to plan. And I felt like telling me when you're going to show up is a form of respect.
Yeah.
And
it's
it is.
true. It is. It's
Clear
very-
is kind. Unclear is unkind. That's Brené
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah, no, it's very cruel and,
And manipulative.
manipulative. And of course, Robin, she wasn't really paying attention to Kody's schedule. It was okay if he was there or not. It was a thing for a couple of my sister wives.
Yeah, because he was with you.
Yeah, you didn't have to wonder if he was coming over. He was there every night, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, what a twit! Like,
Yeah.
Well, hello, Robin. Have you been watching the show? The cat's out of the bag. Like, we all know.
Well, but the other thing is she's being so dismissive. Let's say all of that was true. But you're a mother, Robin. You know that when you have little kids, they need a regular schedule. And whether or not dad's going to be there or not, and putting kids down and getting things rolling, or even in the morning, are you going to have the extra help or not in the morning? Like, wouldn't that determine how early you're going to get up and what you're going to do or not do? And I think by Kody doing this, it was a couple different things. He was able to control, right? He was able to control people's feelings. And maybe there was a lot of push-pull of like, if whoever's nicest to me maybe gets my time and attention. It could be that piece of it. But the other thing too is it puts the women in this predicament of feeling a little bit like, if I can't count on you, then I guess I'll just do everything myself.
Psych Legal Pop will be right back after these messages.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I never know if you're going to show up or not, even if you are helping me in the morning, I don't know if you're going to help me in the morning.
Right.
So I just have to get up and make all the lunches and do everything myself anyway. And it also allowed him to just not do much.
Not have to do anything. Yeah.
And be
And
like,
also,
well, I don't know what's going on.
Can you imagine, like, especially with Christine, who had younger kids? Well, Janelle did too. I mean, Savannah was really young when the show started, but you're trying to put the kids to bed and calm them down, and then Kody comes in, gets everyone all riled up, and it's like, oh, great. I mean, that's having no respect for his kids either, or their schedules, or their peace of mind, their routine. I mean, it's just really that this kind of encapsulates Kody's whole energy.
Yeah.
This whole story here.
But Brooke, he's creative.
Yeah,
He is a creative person with his time. That's his style. Maybe he was too flexible, and maybe that was the problem. Maybe that was the problem. Interesting.
Another thing that Kody messed up. Just add it to the list.
Yes. All right. Well, now we're back in Parowan.
Now, this is where Meri starts really questioning if she, the B&B, it was not really her passion. She just wanted to get that house, because it was her family home. That was her dream. And now this kind of bothers me because her first thing that she goes to, her first thought of, what's the next step for me? And she's like, I need to find a man. And she seems to be making this decision about what to do with the house or where to live or where to go based upon finding a man, she says, how did she put it? Like, so it depends on what kind of man I find. And it's like, well, you can't predict that.
Yeah.
You need to just go and live your life and do what you want to do. And a man will find you somewhere, wherever you are.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want. And
well, I think, sorry. I think this is Meri's desire to plan. Do you know what I mean? And this is what she's going to have to learn, or maybe she's learned by now, but I know exactly what the planner in her wants to. She doesn't want to do anything with the B&B until she meets somebody. And then once she meets someone, she can figure out if they live in another state, then I don't need whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the problem is then you're standing still and you're not doing anything. And then your whole life is just about meeting this man. And that's not it. I mean, people are attracted to people who are happy within themselves and live exciting lives and are interesting and doing interesting things. And that's what Meri needs to start. I absolutely agree. That's what she needs to start doing. And what is the worst case scenario? You put time and money into the B&B and maybe you convert it into your own home. And if you can afford it and live there, worst case scenario is maybe you meet some guy in Nebraska and you decide to move into Nebraska. The home is still there. You can rent it out. Just Jen can take care of it or sell it. Like,
well, yeah,
none of these things are permanent,
Yeah. What's going to happen with Jen? Where is Jen?
I don't know.
Wherever Meri goes, because I mean, I don't think Meri can do anything without Jen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously Meri did not pick Parowan because she wanted to live in Parowan. I think she picked Parowan because where the house was, and she was connected to Kody. So I think she might be thinking like, there's not a lot of options for men in Parowan. Maybe she's thinking like, most likely I'm gonna have to leave this area. But again, you don't know who you're gonna meet. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they want in their lives. So I don't know. I just think this poor woman has spent her entire adult life planning things around a man. So she doesn't know any other way to plan.
That's true. That's true.
You know what? You got to worthy up, Meri.
Yes. Well, she does. She mentions turning it into an event space. So maybe this is the beginning of, probably timeline wise, this is probably the beginning of when she started doing those worthy up. Didn't she do a couple worthy up retreats there?
I think so. Yeah. I think one of the first ones was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been out. She's been dating. She's gone on multiple dates with some people. She's had to block some people's numbers.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So
I guess we're not going to see any of that. Doesn't seem like.
Well, I guess we're not going to see Amos. Because has Amos entered the picture yet? In the timeline?
I've heard the timeline is still, a mystery. But I've heard other, podcasters say they think we're already past that. We're already past the time when she dated him, because it wasn't for very long. I mean, she did that social media post introducing him, and then I feel like the internet came after him and all this stuff started coming out about him, and maybe he wasn't with her for the right reasons.
Yes.
And it didn't last very long,
And maybe she decided, okay, I'm not going to put any of this on the show. Like I cannot attract anybody who would be wanting to be with me just to be on the show.
Right. Because, or maybe we're not seeing him because none of their interactions were filmed. Or
true.
he didn't sign a release, or we're assuming. I don't think she took film crews with her on these dates, so there's no footage of anything, and it never went anywhere. So.
Yeah. And so we're back on the road.
Back to car talk.
Yeah, we're in New Mexico, and we go into this whole thing about what does it mean to be a sister wife, and sister wives, it just means good friends. And what Christine and Janelle have realized is when you take out Kody and Robin, they've lived this shared experience, and they have these kids and they have the shared experience, and the people that they really don't have a connection with at all are now gone, basically, Kody and Robin and Meri. And I guess it sounds like everything that we saw on the show, that Meri and Robin had much more of a connection. And
I don't know how real that is, though, at this point.
Well, if we see scenes for the next kind of half of the season, and we see very clearly, like, Meri's starting to piece some things together now with Robin.
Oh, yeah. She says, I think in the coming up, she says, I could something like, I had wrote it down, something like she could see. Oh, she said she'd be more comfortable having a friendship relationship with Kody than with Robin.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
the blinders are off. With
that. They're finally coming off. So Janelle says she hopes Meri finds someone. And then they get into this whole thing that Robin, so if you're a polygamist, if you're a sister wife and you've had a spiritual marriage, not a legal marriage, when is the marriage truly over? Is it over when you have the spiritual release? But Robin made that comment a couple seasons ago about when Christine left, that it's only when Christine has sex with another person, that's when you're truly released. And so we hear from them about how, like, they think this is just the dumbest thing they've ever heard. Mm-hmm. And that really, truly, if you take a step back and look at it, it's this dogma and this belief that, you know, it's almost like the minute the woman cheats, sleeps with another man, therefore she's out of the family. She's out, she's gone, you know, and that's what represents it, you know, that I don't know exactly. They did a better job than I'm doing right now explaining this.
I don't know. Because, like, what if Kody went off and had sex with someone who wasn't, you know, one of his polygamous wives? Would that...
See, I don't think it would be the same.
And the marriage, the spiritual marriage?
No. And I think that's part of the problem is that...
No, it's just, very sexist.
It's very, very sexist.
Yeah. And so Janelle was saying, and she said this before, she's like, you know, I'm sort of interested in a release, but I don't even know where to go or who to talk to about it. Mm-hmm. And Christine's like, just have sex with someone. You know, just to get it. It's much easier.
Yeah.
You know, have sex with this guy and move on. But Janelle's more serious about that. She's a little offended by that. And
so that's why I don't think she banged Kody. That's the other. I think no.
She's not a one night.
No.
A one-off.
My God, the woman's never been drunk before. I mean, wait until we get there.
Oh,
and
God,
I felt
so
like
much to say about that.
And and the questions that I had were, I have to laugh when we get there because we were raised so differently.
Yes.
So differently.
Oh, gosh.
So differently.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how old I was when my first time was drinking.
Or just how well, we got to get into it.
Yeah,
how
we'll get into it. It's the whole thing.
All right. So then we get into the better stuff. Money. Mm-hmm. So finally, I mean, Janelle, God, what's driving me crazy about Janelle is I'm hiring an attorney. I'm talking to an attorney. I think you should get an attorney. I'm going to get an attorney.
I hired an attorney. What is it?
Do you have someone vested interests?
Did you pay a retainer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Unless she's paid a retainer, you know, don't talk to me anymore about this lawyer stuff. It's like, she's so, it's annoying. It's so
it's very wishy-washy.
And it's like, you know what? This is serious, Janelle. Time is ticking. Like, the time that goes by, the worse off you are going to be. So please.
Yes.
Please.
Well, and what were you talking about? The financial, like, part of what's happening with Coyote Pass and the fact that he's dragging his feet is that financial abuse, or maybe abuse is too big of a word?
Well, I mean, they're not married. It's not like community property or something. I mean, they're basically, they're landowners together, and landowners have certain rights. And the problem here is that if Kody doesn't want to sell the property, he's not obligated to sell it just because someone else does. It's the burden shifts to Janelle to get a court order to do that. And Janelle also within that process is going to need to get some kind of an accounting, because Christine said she put all the proceeds from her home in Las Vegas into Robin's home. So she has to prove some sort of, I mean, there's a lot of work Janelle needs to do. She needs to get on it. And that's the thing, because these assets, Kody could get rid of the assets. He's already sold Robin's house. I'm sure he just put it right back into this new house. You know, the property value of Coyote Pass could go down. You know, she needs to get on it. And so Kody is also exposing himself to maybe having to pay her attorney's fees or other penalties because he's forcing her to go to court. That's the grounds for asking for attorney's fees. So you have to go to court to force this.
So you can always get attorneys, not always, but you can sue for attorney's fees when it could have been avoided going to court. Like,
well, just in this situation, this is called, in California, it's called a partition action, when you're forcing the sale, or the person can buy you out, but you're trying to get out of this property, get your money out of it. So yeah, there is grounds for attorney's fees if you were forced to go to court to do that. You don't automatically get it, but you usually do.
Yeah. Well, so Janelle talks about how, for 2 decades they combined this pot of money, and, it took her a long time to get out of this headspace of how to live, but she realizes now, and she realized too late, that she kind of blindly trusted Kody, took all of her money, put it into Robin's house, assuming that eventually the way things had been done before, it would come back around. And sure enough, it hadn't. And, she's just like, I caught on too late. And she does say this is a hot button. This housing thing is a hot button issue for Kody and Robin, because they've been trying to revise the past of like what was spoken, what was said. And this is where the most egregious, unreal statement came into play.
I know what you're talking about.
Robin tells us, I helped so much with those early years. This feels balanced.
Yeah. She's like, we worked together for so long. So yeah. So now Robin's going to say, I deserve this.
Yeah. That's what she's saying. Because, sorry.
Yeah. Because she worked, the woman who had a babysitter from day one.
Never had a job. Never had
a job.
Besides the show.
My Sister Wives Closet.
And My Sister Wives Closet, which everybody else had as well. So you had you never brought in additional income into the family ever.
And she didn't help with childcare. That was the whole thing. That's why Christine has so much clout. It's because she took care of every single one of those kids and homeschooled them and did all this stuff. Robin had babysitters and nannies for her own children, and did not take care of anyone else's children unless they were filming and she had to. Yeah. So, she's delusional.
So much. Like Logan was 16 when you entered the family. Like
he was taking care of everyone.
Daddy Logan was taking care of everyone. He has done far more work than he deserves the house.
He deserves the house. Give him
and you know who deserves the house? Logan and Aspen.
Yeah.
Those two deserve the house. They really do. But that was, what world? And they're trying to rehab their image this whole time. This is them rehabbing their image. It's a little bit like, but this is exactly, I love what the producers are doing, because pretty much that is exactly what Robin just did. I'm rewriting the history.
Yeah.
And what happened.
What exactly, Janelle has gotten nothing.
Yeah.
So how is it balanced? Let's just assume for argument that, whatever was put into the house, Kody and Robin's house, they earned it somehow. Okay. Well, what did Janelle get? Janelle got nothing.
Well, hold on. Kody said, hey, you know what? I was going to help her buy Christine's house. And I love this, helping her buy Christine's house. How?
With what money?
Were you going to give her money when you said helping her? Or were you just going to be like, you should buy this house? And then he was like, pfft, and then she didn't want that. It's like, no.
She wanted the RV life.
It's like, no, she didn't want that either, Kody. If you actually asked her what she wanted and listened, you would know. She wanted the RV life. She was trying to, because it was what she could afford. And also she was trying to push her, she was trying to push people to do, to get going on Coyote Pass. Again, not a great idea. Not a good idea.
No, it was a terrible idea, but yeah, she thought that if she was physically on the land, that would somehow magically, get this thing going. And also, it was a huge mistake. I don't know how much that thing cost, but it had to be close to $100,000.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she financed it or put all of her money into it, but again, awful financial decision made by Janelle. I mean, I'm not trying to blame her for any of this, but I hope to God that she actually has a lawyer and is doing something. But here we are in, February 2025. And I believe, the title to the property is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything to the contrary. So, no, I mean, because title would have changed if he would have bought them out.
Well, yeah. And the other thing too is that she's lamenting about how this whole ride, she's talking about, I need to get my money out. I need to get my money out. I need this. I need this. I need this. And so for someone with such urgency, who's so worried, and you're driving across country and you said, I need those funds to fund this new dream, she really is dragging her heels. And it's like, is she dragging her heels because she's just so used to kind of dealing with Kody and she can't do that? Is she dragging her heels because of the money piece of it? I don't know. But I do think that sometimes, I don't know, does this happen for you where people find out how much it's really going to cost? And so they go, oh no, okay, I can't do that. Or that's too much money, until they wait till I have this too with therapy clients. Like they wait till the problem becomes really bad. And then you really have to spend the money, and you're spending even more money. Yeah. And that's the part of it is that it comes back to just how people sort of, when you hire someone
with life.
Yeah. Well, and also I was just going to talk about the money piece. Like if you're going to pay someone to do something for you and it's going to take time and energy, it's like, it's going to cost a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Like anytime someone who has an advanced degree, like skills. Yeah. I'm always amazed that people think, how much do you think an attorney is going to be?
Yeah. And also, that's the reason you hire an attorney, not just for the legal expertise, but in cases like this, where you don't want to carry the emotional burden of it.
Yes.
An attorney's not going to be emotional about this. They're going to go about it methodically and do it. And they're not scared of Kody. They don't give a shit what Kody says. Whereas Janelle clearly can still be intimidated by him in some way, shape, or form. She needs to just take herself out of it and let someone else take care of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be that much money. I mean, she's living with Maddie and Caleb, and she's getting paid from this show. She does her own, that MLM thing. Mm-hmm. She has money.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Yeah. Take that money and pay an attorney and get this done and get it over with and force his hand.
Yeah.
This is a good time to do it because he's also under pressure from Christine's, custody and child support thing. And, let's put the hammer down on Kody. Come on, ladies.
Jeez. Well, yeah. But before they do that, they've got a drink. They're going to Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yes, they're stopping
for dinner.
They went to dinner and now they're at Fatty Arbuckle's pub. And do you remember who Fatty Arbuckle was?
I do. I mean, he was like one of the biggest stars. I want to say the 1910s, 1920s, biggest star. And then a story came out about him. Story came out that he had sexually assaulted someone?
He raped and murdered a woman.
And murdered?
Yeah.
But did it turn out he did it or not? I thought he was innocent. Well, am I wrong about that?
No, here's what happened. He was charged with rape and murder. He was found not now there was something where he was somehow he got charged a couple times. Maybe there was like a mistrial that he did not get convicted. And then there was like another mistrial. And then the third time he was found not guilty. And the jury actually wrote him a note saying, I'm so sorry you had to go through all of this. Like, they were so, convinced he was not guilty. But yeah, his defense was, no, I just took this woman home to have sex and I don't know how she ended up dying.
Well, and the joke always was, or was that like he crushed her, or that, I mean, I remember that was like one of the rumors, but he was like one of the biggest stars.
Yeah.
And it ruined, obviously it ruined his career, ruined everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he died.
Yeah.
Young.
And he was, obviously he was Fatty Arbuckle, but he wasn't that fat. Do you know what I mean? He
not
wasn't
by
that
today's
big.
standards.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would not be on 600 pound and counting or whatever.
He wouldn't even probably make it onto The Biggest Loser.
Oh no, he'd probably have to fatten up for that one. Yeah. He'd be on Ozempic by now, but
yeah. So I don't even know where to start with this alcohol talk, because I'm sorry, Janelle is full of shit.
You think?
Isn't she the one who said that she had to drink a whole bottle of wine every time she did the taxes because it was so stressful? Remember when she said that?
Yeah, but I mean, do you think that was a joke, or? So you think Janelle's been drunk before?
I mean, drunk is kind of a relative. I think she's definitely been tipsy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's been falling down drunk, but I think Janelle has had more than a glass of wine, because she tried to say, oh, well, sometimes we'd have a glass of wine once in a while. And she says she's never done a shot and she doesn't understand the mechanics of ordering a drink. Just what? I don't believe
you don't believe that. Well, I could believe if you're someone who never really drank, to go into a bar and to order, right? Like, what are the drinks that most people would know from a TV show?
Like
a Manhattan, a martini, but they don't know the names of, like, I want a Paloma, or I want this or that. But now everything's all specialty cocktails. Like, just get a menu. That's kind of how you do it, Janelle. You ask for a menu and you order it from the menu.
This is Fatty Arbuckle's pub. I don't think
they don't have menus
craft
here.
Cocktails or a menu.
No, they're making slippery nipples. I mean, that looked like that had a few different ingredients, but I don't know. I'm sorry. Now this changes everything for me, because I really was believing Janelle when she was saying this to me about her never drinking, but you think that that she has been a little drunk before.
Well,
or tipsy
yes,
before.
And also, after she did the shot, she ordered a beer.
Yeah, because they were going to keep drinking.
Okay, well, I mean, if the shot was such a revelation to her, and she's feeling herself and everything.
Yeah, you need a chaser.
Then she orders
you want to keep the party going.
Well, I understand that, but I just feel like that's not the behavior of someone who's like a drinker. And it didn't look like she had a lot of trouble downing that shot, quite frankly.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just so cynical. And I'm just going based upon the fact that I feel her comment about the bottle of wine every time she had to do the taxes, and she's made other comments about. One time she said something about, oh, we need to have some alcohol before we have this family discussion, or she said that a few times throughout the years.
Yeah, well, we've learned that Christine loves shots. She likes to drink. She's gotten drunk and had shots with Janelle's kids.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know this is where, like, when we have these kinds of scenes, again, it's so foreign to how we were raised, our lives, that I just don't know what to make of it. I just believe it to be true, because I'm like, this is not how we grew up. And it wasn't like alcohol was being shoved down our throats, but we come from a long line of wasps. I mean, we come from a long line. I don't even know what to call it. Like, cocktails at 5.
Yeah, think Mad Men,
there's golf, lots of golf and tennis and golf carts, and our grandparents had a bar.
Our grandparents had a bar in every house they ever owned, like a full bar. Like, you could go around to the side, make a drink, sit on the other side bar. Yeah.
Back before all the bar and the bar stool thing of design, like, that was very radical at the time. And so I guess I just grew up with all of this. Do you remember Dad after I turned 21, we went to that place in San Francisco, the very famous place where they have the Irish coffees.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad's like, oh, this is great. You know, he's been dying for both of us to be legal. So he's like, here we are. I'm drinking with my kids in the middle of the day. This is like, for him, that was exciting, monumental. I'm like, oh, well,
life
okay.
goals.
Yeah. But okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then we go through this whole thing where, you know, who drinks, who doesn't drink. You know, Kody claims that he's never had a shot. But again, remember a few episodes back when he had that sort of last supper with Janelle at, is it Angeline's, or what's that restaurant where they're up in the attic?
Josephine's? Yeah.
Josephine's. He was drinking wine with lunch. Okay. Again, this is just, if you're not a drinker and you never drink and you've never had a shot, you don't order wine at lunch.
Yeah. I don't order wine at lunch.
Right.
I get sleepy.
We're civilized. We wait till 5.
Wait till 5 o'clock when my work is done.
That's right. No day drinking on a weekday. But there's rules, you know.
You can't be sloppy.
No, they're just all over the place. And we know that Christine has come to the other side. She very much likes to have a drink. And Janelle says Christine likes having a drink and Kody likes having a drink. Meri doesn't, she's trying to act all, you know, she said she's had one shot ever and it was nasty and she's never been drunk. I don't know. Oh, and Robin says she's never had a shot at a bar and she's actually never even been to a bar.
And she's never been drunk, though. We've seen you a little high. I mean, this is the other thing that I love about people is I bet you anything, because that time we saw her crying on the floor on the holidays, like she definitely takes either a sleeping med or an Ativan or Xanax.
Yes.
Which are, and I'm telling you, a 1 milligram of lorazepam, which is Ativan, right? That is like having a cocktail. Mm-hmm. Same thing. So if you've had that, you've had a cocktail. Also, people have snapped pictures of Kody and Robin out in the wild at restaurants with, you know, drinks on the table, wine, drink, whatever on the table. So I just think this is BS. The only one who's being honest about it, I feel, is Christine. But I looked up the what's in a slippery nipple. Yeah. Sounds disgusting. It's a half ounce of Bailey's, a half ounce of Sambuca, which is like a licorice liqueur. Yeah. And then you put in grenadine or butterscotch schnapps. Okay. And you layer it so that the grenadine or the Bailey's form the nipple at the bottom. Is this supposed to look like an actual nipple? Body I don't know. I don't know, but that just sounds so disgusting. And that's a very amateur drink. Well, yeah, that's what Janelle was saying. It's a lot of sugar. I mean, I'm sorry. It's kind of like what you ordered in college. Right. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, there are college shots and there's, you know, young person shots. But listen, if this was her first time, they got to ease her in. Yeah. They got to ease her in.
She should have just had a straight shot of like tequila. Yeah. That's the best.
Chilled tequila is really good. Like good, high quality tequila chilled shot. Mm-hmm. Delicious. But you do need a chaser. Yeah, I think that in their minds, and I swear, I think that in their minds, the idea of it is we've never been into a bar where it's just a bar, they don't serve food, and you sit down specifically to order a shot of something. And that's, you know, somehow that's, I don't know. I don't know if they were trying to make it seem like it was bad or rebellious or whatever it is, but I don't know. These people perplex me. They really do. They act like they haven't been filmed this whole time.
Yeah. We don't have the last 12, 13, 14 years of their life on camera. And again, like people see them out. And you know, at Christine's wedding, when they were on that boat, didn't Janelle do a shot?
No, Christine like pounded a beer. I remember that. But Janelle did.
Because I remember they were saying shot.
But and it didn't really work because she was pounding a beer.
Oh,
That was Christine.
I thought Janelle had one then too. I don't know. I'm sure that wedding weekend she had
something
because the alcohol was flowing.
Yeah. No, it was. So. It was. And that was the end, right? That was the end of her trip.
End of the episode. Yeah. So next time, I guess sometime in the spring, we see them all at North Carolina, looking at the property.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Meri says she's more comfortable having a friendship with Kody than with Robin. Kody says, these divorces devalue me. Okay. And then this is a weird scene. So it shows Kody, Robin, and the young kids and Brianna and Aurora. They're eating in a restaurant, and Brianna says, "We were raised by you guys. We'd be fools not to marry our soulmates."
Yeah.
So, I don't know what that conversation is going to be about.
Well, it looks like it's after. It sounds like it was. I think this is their dinner or lunch after the baptism.
Yeah.
This had that feel to it.
Yeah.
And that they got on this topic of soulmates. Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
That is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And then Kody, real serious, real little bit angry, says, talking about his exes here, as they left, they stole some of my confidence. I'm vulnerable and I'm a fool, so she can take me for all I have. I assume referring to Robin. I mean, again,
God,
overly dramatic. Like, calm down.
Oh, God, you're exhausting. This is why Robin and those poor children are just this life failure to thrive here with poor Solomon. He is sucking the life from these children, from these people.
Yes. He's a vampire.
He's an emotional vampire.
Yes.
He's an attention-seeking emotional vampire, and he has sucked the life from these people. And it's not enough. It's not enough.
Still not happy.
It's still not. You are on a TV show, and you've been on a TV show for 15 years. You get so much attention. And it's still, and you have all these kids, still not enough. And that sums up Kody Brown right there, because it's never going to be enough. It was never going to be enough, ever. Ever. It was never going to be enough
for him. And he's really, we've seen, especially, in the last several episodes, some real flares of anger from him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, snapping at people.
Ditch those bitches.
Yeah. When he was snapping at the kids out on Coyote Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob, and, just the way that you can see it on Brianna and Aurora's faces when they have to go ask them for something or permission or whatever. They look scared.
Yeah.
They were scared Brianna was terrified at that conversation about looking for a church.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's something, and I wonder if this rage, I don't know. Again, I don't know where we are in time with these. I would think that the testimonial things, those are all filmed at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure that this is all after Garrison died.
You think so?
Yeah, because they would have filmed that at the very end, I would think. So this started in August, September.
Mm-hmm.
So it was probably filmed last summer.
I don't know. I thought we haven't even gotten to, because Garrison passed away in March of 2024. I got the sense that Janelle was moving. It was around that time.
It was right before when it happened.
He passed away right before she was going to go?
No. She went to North Carolina, which now I think this is probably like February.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think these scenes, what we're seeing is right up against.
I'm only
Garrison.
talking about Kody's scenes. The ones with Janelle and Christine. Yeah, this is probably like February 2024. But I'm talking about the confessionals where Kody is so angry.
Mm-hmm.
And also the scenes from Coyote Pass, which it would look like it was summertime.
Yeah.
Summer, so it would have been after.
Mm-hmm.
And he was making all those comments about how, this is the last place we were all together.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's true. I might be right. Yeah.
I think he's just, in a bad place.
Yeah.
And, anyway, don't mean to end on such a.
I know we're ending on a sad note. I liked it when we're ripping on him.
Sorry,
that was much better.
We can still rip on him because he's still. There's only so much grace we can give him.
Yes. But so, should we talk a little bit about what we're going to do during this break?
Oh yeah, what are we going to do?
Well, so Love is Blind, which is one of the other few shows that we cover consistently. So Love is Blind is coming back on February 14th, which is a Friday. So we are going to start sort of, I think, we're going to use this Monday time to drop. No. Changing. No.
Because we don't want to be like a week behind.
Oh, okay.
So what we'll do is on Mondays when we would normally have Sister Wives, we're going to do some documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good documentaries are coming out right now. There's a new OJ documentary, which,
yes,
God, I didn't think I needed another one, but it turns out I do.
Yeah, 4 parts.
Yeah.
So we might need to break that up.
We're going to probably break that up. There's also a documentary about P. Diddy that is looks good because a lot of kind of crappy stuff has come out, but this one is made by some respectable filmmakers, and it's an all women crew. So we'll probably split that up. We'll do that. And then, we'll just play it by ear because we don't know when Sister Wives is coming back.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do is the dates of what things are going to be released are going to change. There'll still be 2 free episodes every week, but most likely earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday will be a documentary. And then Friday when the show, will be Love is Blind. And then we'll see where we're at. And then we were doing our Sister Wives Rewind, but we're going to take a little break for that since we have Love is Blind. So until then, it's going to be documentaries for the next couple weeks.
Yeah. So Love is Blind comes out on Fridays. So we'll try to release
that on Fridays.
Fridays. And then, we just have to see in February. Because Love is Blind only goes through like March 7th. It's pretty quick. It's like
it's like a month or so.
So then after that, we'll have another opening. So maybe we will do the Sister Wives Rewind.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. But that's what's happening.
Yeah. Hope to see you here in the Instagram.
Yes.
Check out. We have a lot of content, a lot of documentaries. We continue to do them. We're trying to keep up with them. So check it out. And Love is Blind.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy us and want to hear more from us, go check out our Patreon. Please leave us a review. Those always do help us and helps people find us on the show. You can find us at Psych Legal Pop on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Blue Sky. And subscribe to the show, tell a friend, spread the word, and we will see you all next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
With almost 500,000 customers and over $1 trillion of secure payments, Bill isn't new to intelligent finance. It's the proven way to simplify bill pay and maximize cash flow. Want to learn more? Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.